Hi everybody and welcome back to the channel today. Now, I thought I'd speak about the thing that's going on with Gregg Wallace. Now, I spoke to a few people about this because the fundamental problem when it comes to Gregg Wallace is how far beyond has he actually gone? Because obviously there's been things that have been said that he's on ways he's behaved, like running around the studio where basically he's got no clothes on, he's just got something basically to cover his modesty at the end of the day. Which, for that kind of behaviour is completely inappropriate, no matter what you say. Now, one of the things is, when it comes to his judging, if you watch it, I've watched The Professionals, I mainly watch the MasterChef The Professionals. If you watch Celebrity one or the normal version, Gregg Wallace is the type of judge, and this goes for a lot of judges, where they basically try and describe, when they go and take a bite size of something, of how it makes them feel. Now, the problem is, in some of the clips that have been shown in the media, that some of the comments that he said could be taken in two different directions. I remember seeing one clip where he says, "Oh, that's a good tart. I could dive right into that." And you got John Turode looking absolutely shell-shocked that he said it, and the contestant completely disgusted that he said it, thinking that he's talking about me. And that's the problem. Whether you're a person that's quite sarcastic like myself, my wife complains all the time, especially my mother-in-law, and it's knowing how far you can actually go before you're going to end up offending people. And the problem for Gregg Wallace is he's gone beyond that point. He's gone way beyond that point where he's just offended so many people. And for somebody who's a presenter, okay, you should know the point of when it's too far and you can't go beyond that point. Now, as I've said today, I actually spoke to my father and I said, one of the problems is people that work in the catering industry, especially chefs. And I've worked in the kitchens before, and chefs sometimes can be some of the most abhorrently rude and obnoxious people on the planet. I remember when I worked in the kitchen, some of the things I said to waitresses were absolutely disgusting and awful. I mean, they were really bad. I'm not even going to say what I said because, to be honest, nowadays I'd probably be arrested for what I actually said to her. Now, after that happened and service was over, I went and apologised to her because I was completely in the wrong. So I'm not trying to give Gregg Wallace an excuse, but maybe he is the wrong person to be in that role. I don't think his career will be over. It'll probably be snapped up by another TV station to do something. I may be proven wrong on that, but I think it's quite likely he will be snapped up by another TV station. So the argument is, what should be done? Now, the people that I hold accountable for this, it's not Gregg Wallace himself. Yes, Gregg Wallace has to take a certain amount of blame for this, but the people that are actually at fault is the BBC and the producers. Because even though that they claim, yeah, but we reprimanded him in 2017 and 2019, that's not good enough. Obviously, the behaviour continued. And it's like anything. If you look at criminals, unless you adjust the behaviour, it will continue and continue and continue and get worse and worse. And that's the allegation with Gregg Wallace. So the people that are really at fault is the BBC, and the BBC and the producers need to be held accountable, because how many times when it comes to celebrities have they behaved abhorrently poorly? especially when you have people, hang on, who have a lot of power and abuse that power, which is a classic case of what's going on here. You know, so I would suggest he probably needs to be sacked. Because it's like I've said many times to people, you either change with the times or you get left back with the times. The way you could behave and the way society was, let's say for instance, you know, when I was growing up in the 80s, you know, I was born in 1978, it's completely different to what it is now. I remember making a comment about somebody at one of my previous companies. Okay, if that comment got said now, you know, and that was about 2004, I would be sacked today for that comment I made. There's nothing wrong with the comment I made. You know, it was a factually based comment that I made, but I would probably be sacked for it. And that's the problem. He's gone so far and he's behind in the times. And he needs to catch up, or he will not have a career. So, what I'm going to say to you is let us know what you think needs to happen to Gregg Wallace. You know, whether he's guilty or not, what do you think actually needs to happen? So let us know in the comments down below. And we'll speak to you again a bit later. Hopefully, when I'm feeling a bit better and I can actually, actually talk. But for now, thanks for listening.